You're listening to the Fit Mind, Fit Body podcast, where we explore the connection between running and positive mental health. We do this by talking to runners from all walks of life who generously share their experiences with us. So you don't miss an episode, I've created an email list for you to join. Check the show notes for more details. Without further ado, I'm your host, Michelle Frost. Let's get moving. Today on Fit Mind, Fit Body, we are checking in with another one of our crazy, delirious athletes, Stuart Rainbow. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Michelle. I'm great. Great to be here. Here we are on the 31st of December, 2024, yes. New Year's Eve. So
recording this on a very special day, aren't we? Even though people will listen to it in a couple of weeks, that's good to know.
Yeah, exactly. So coming to you from another holiday destination, just like last time. This time I'm in a town called Kimbolton, which is about 40 minutes, as we said, from Bendigo. It's in the middle of nowhere at an area called Lake Epilogue. So we're doing some skiing and biscuiting and just some water sports this week. Yeah.
I was going to ask what's the attraction there, but it's the water, it's the lake, yeah?
Yeah, exactly right. It's the water and the lake. So we got the skis up here and the boats and the jet skis and the biscuits and the wakeboards and all the kids.
All the toys.
Yeah, the kids are just turned into dolphins. You can't get them out of the water. So having a great time.
That's awesome. How long are you there for?
So we're up here for about a week.
Okay.
So yeah, we go back on this weekend actually, and then back for a couple of days, and then we go to a area which everyone sort of knows called Bonny Doon.
I have heard of Bonny Doon.
Made famous from the castle. So with How's the Serenity in Bonny Doon. So we'll go up there and do some more water sports over there for about a week or so as well. And
with the caravan again?
New caravan, as I said to you before. It's only 3 days old. So we're still cleaning it every day and trying to look after it and telling the girls to take your shoes off before you come in. But, we'll take the caravan over there and I'll tow the van and Beck will tow the jet skis and off we'll go. Yeah.
Wow, what a life. Well, how's running fitting into all of that? How is your training going? What's happened for the last month? Tell me.
Training's been okay, actually. Mm-hmm. So I've still kept up with my program, with my plan. Just last week, I only had one long run instead of my back-to-back long runs. So just was just too busy with Christmas and everything else. So unfortunately, I missed one there. But yeah, all in all, knock on wood, staying injury-free, which is the main goal for me at the moment, just to get to that start line. And things are about to start ramping up as of January. I've just got my new program from Coach Brian yesterday, and we're coming up to our double days where he's got me running and walking or running and hiking and then running and running, or whatever it is, with a backpack on and just different weights in my backpack as well. So it's all going to start to ramp up from here on, I think. So, it's going to be interesting. Don't think you'll see me doing any milers or anything like that, like those other people from WA.
I'm glad you're keeping me sane, because at least I can talk to you and think, it's okay. You don't have to have run 100 miles before you run the 200 miles, like a couple of months earlier.
Yeah, that's right. So
it's all right.
I even saw Libby, who's doing the Delirious West. She pumped out a little 50K run on their last run for the year yesterday, which was pretty inspiring to see. So, I'm sure we'll start to get into some longer stuff sooner rather than later. So, so the training's been going really well. The heat has been a bit of a challenge. I'm a bit concerned about this weekend coming up, because I don't know if you've looked at the forecast, Michelle, because you are in Victoria at the moment.
I am, but I go home tomorrow. I go back to Tassie tomorrow, which I'm pleased about, because I did have a little look. So how warm is it going to be where you're going to be?
39 and 40. So that's pretty brutal. So I think he's got me doing... it might be 3 and 4 hours or 3 hours and 4 hours or something like that, 3.5, 4 hours. But, so that'll be getting up early and trying to knock those ones over. But, it is what it is. I mean, this time last year we had the same situation. Obviously, Delirious used to be in February anyway.
That's true.
So, I really hope that when we get Delirious, it's not like it was last year. 40 degrees was just disgusting.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't suit me. Yeah. Not even a little bit.
Do you know, I looked at the other day, because remember, I don't know if you remember, I said I didn't want to I wanted to hate Delirious, on previous stuff. And I looked at my the old Delirious run just the other day, and my fastest 10K block I had was between 80 and 90 Ks at night, because it was just so
Cool.
relentless and brutal. And that's right, cool at night. So I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah.
Wow, that is good. It's good to reflect on that and go, oh, yeah. I wonder why. Well, maybe you're nocturnal, but also you like the cooler weather.
That's right. So,
which I can imagine. Yeah, I can. Yeah, it is the thing that, apart from sleep, that would worry me the most if it was really hot, because I don't live in a hot place, and so I wouldn't be that acclimatized to that anyway. Mind you, when we did the same kind of series for Gone Nuts in Tassie the last year. One lady who was on the series was from Broome. So she did all of her training, it was the opposite. So she did all of her training in 30, 40 degree heat at silly at times in the mornings, because she had to try and do it, when it didn't get too hot. So she was always, in the 30s at minimum. And then she came down and did the run that, I suppose we had 12 to 20 or something, 24 that got the hottest. So I don't know. So it worked for her doing it the other way around, but I don't think it works going cold or hot, but hot to cold seems to not be so bad. Unless it's super cold, maybe that would be a problem.
Yeah, which maybe it gets like that on the coast at night. I don't know. I mean, this is probably a good question for the WA residents. But I think the average, don't quote me on this, it's been a couple of months since I looked, but I think the average, when I looked up Denmark, I think it was maybe 24 temperature degrees in April. So if it's like that, that's perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you sound like everything's good at the moment.
Everything's okay. I just got actually my last couple of pairs of shoes I've purchased. Believe it or not, I believe I found them in the world, because they don't make these shoes anymore. I run the New Balance. They're a new model they brought up last year called More Trails. And they're basically I've got a wide foot anyway, but they're basically a supersized foot. So when you look at them, these things look like Ronald McDonald type shoes. And
clown.
Yeah, exactly. But what it does is it's got a whole heap of room up the top near your toes and that sort of stuff, and obviously a bit back towards your arch of your foot. So that's going to allow for some swelling on these longer runs, that sort of stuff. But the issue I had is because they stopped manufacturing these, the running company in Lilydale didn't sell them. No one else had them in stock. So I had to actually outsource two. I found one in the UK and I found one in Denmark. And
Denmark,
yeah, and they've both been sent to me, and I've got them now at home. They're still in the boxes. I'm trying and hoping like buggeries that I can get through the rest of my training with my current ones still, because then I'm going to get them, like I've got my new gaiters, I'm going to get them all stitched up and glued up, and then put the gaiters on as well. So, yeah, pretty relieved to know that I found those two.
You need to explain that to me. I've got gaiters that are like separate that I've had for a long, I just put them on and then I put my shoes on and then I attach them. You have some that get attached to your shoes? How does that work?
I do. So a lot of the athletes have different gaiters, right? Everyone's different. Some of them have up to their knees for the snake-proof gaiters. Other ones there have the smaller ones. So last year I was pretty naive. I turned up, I didn't even have any gaiters. It is the boy from Hillsville just rolling in, ready to have a crack, right? Yeah. And then Sean and his band of Merry Helpers were selling some equipment at the start when you check in, and one of them was gaiters. And my mum, she said, listen, I think we should get you a pair of these, Stu. I said, okay, well, that's fine. And when we turned up to the start line, everyone had gaiters, and I didn't. I'm like, oh, okay. And anyway, the gaiters that I had, they're from Ultra, and they actually stuck onto the back of your shoe with Velcro, and on the front with Velcro, I believe, or there was a little clip. I can't quite recall. But the issue I had is as you keep going and you hundreds of Ks in, they would lift and then they lost their stickiness on the Velcro. So for me, that didn't work. I've got a lovely lady in town called Donia, and she did the Sables, the marathon in the desert?
Yes, I've heard something like that. Yeah.
So she did one, and she had the same thing. She got them actually glued and sewed on with the Velcro around the base of the shoe. or on the side of the walls of the shoe, I should say. And then obviously the Velcro, the actual gaiter sits on top of that and sticks onto the Velcro. So rather than having two bits of Velcro, just one, I'm going to have Velcro the whole area on the shoe, which is obviously going to give it a bit more grip. Now, these gaiters, I've done a lot of research into these gaiters, and I actually asked a couple of questions on the Facebook page earlier, but they sort of look a bit space age, look like you're going to the moon or something. Yeah, because they cover your whole shoe. And last time, I think that was part of my downfall, was the sand getting in and creating friction.
And then, couldn't get out.
And the excess heat. So, this time I'm like, man, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to eliminate that sand. That sand is dead to me, and try and fix the problem. So, so that's what I'm doing.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about some of those things. So this is what it'll just, the next few episodes will all be me quizzing all you guys about my gear, what gear I need and what I should be thinking about and practicing with and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that at all. I just thought I'd just use my gaiters. Mind you, I need new ones. How many pairs of shoes?
So I'm going to
doing that now.
So I've got my trading pairs now, but I've actually put a hole on the side of them the other day as well. So I'm like, oh god!
Yeah.
But getting over a fallen tree on a trail. But I'll have two pairs. So last year I took 3 pairs last year. I didn't use them all. So I'm going to use 2 pairs this time, and I've got 2 sets of gaiters as well. So the gaiters are quite lightweight, and I just felt like, maybe if you get a stick through it or something, you can rip. So I'm always a big believer of having a backup plan.
Yeah.
And I do the same with everything. So even my backpack, which is a ultimate direction, I've already purchased another one. So I've got a spare one.
Oh, wow.
Spare bottles. Yeah, because I had it one year when I went to do the UTA, and we're driving up there, and in the back of my four-wheel drive, we've got a drawer that opens and closes, and my bag got stuck in there, and we lost the end of the hydration flask. In the middle of nowhere. Yeah, we couldn't get it, so we had to get another one. Anyway, ever since then, I've always said, you know what, have a backup one just in case, because last year my bag even broke. So yeah, and what do you do if your bag breaks? I mean, you got to carry all your mandatory gear. So
it's going to be an expensive thing. You're going to double up on everything.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah.
I should think about that. I do have an old one. I use my new one and my old one. I guess as a backup. I could take my old one as a backup. I've certainly run some distances in it.
Better safe than sorry. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually getting a new pair of poles soon as well, because my other pair of poles from last Delirious, they're just a bit rusty. Oh, not rusty, just a bit gritty and sandy and not as lightweight anymore, like not as easy to pull out and fold up. So I'll keep them as a sparey. Yeah.
That's good. Awesome. So when you say 2 pairs of shoes, are you going to wear one pair for half or whatever and then another pair for the other half, or will you chop and change between those like every whatever 50 Ks or whatever you decide as your number?
Yeah,
how does that work?
I haven't really put it down to it yet, but I think the way I'm feeling currently is I might do it, just change every now and then. So if my foot's getting hot or swelling up or whatever, I can change to a new fresh pair. And go from there, as opposed to trying to punch them out for 160 Ks each. But then again, I might change that to see how I'm going. So I haven't really thought that deeply into that just yet. Yeah.
And how many pairs of socks and all these other things?
I'm trying new socks at the moment, which is good. Features. I'm running the features this time because my other socks were no good. And they've been really good so far. So, yeah. Because
socks are quite important, aren't they? Like,
they are.
Because you can put new socks on and even your older shoes will feel better.
Yep. So my socks I used last time were Under Armours, and the issue we had, I wasn't aware, but obviously Beck and my mum were doing the washing when I was out there washing socks. I was changing socks frequently because it was so hot and sweaty. And those socks were actually holding the sand in them. So it must be the way it was woven or stitched.
Yeah, into the fabric.
Yeah, so, and all this stuff I wasn't aware about until, when you try and have a crack on something that's 300 and something Ks long over sand, you think, okay, well, that makes sense. So, we got some new socks and, they seem to be going okay. I've done a couple of little beach runs with them.
Yeah.
And they seem to be okay.
Techie crossed. Now, one more techie question, only because it's just gone Christmas.
Yes.
And I got a new watch.
Oh, Congratulations.
What kind
did
of
you
watch? I got a Fenix, which I haven't had a Garmin for ages. I've got a Coros, but it's quite old, and I've been using my Apple Watch just for my
Fenix 7?
like it. Yeah, I got a Fenix 7. Yeah.
You got a Fenix 7, don't you? Yeah, Beck's got a Fenix 7 as well.
Awesome. Does she love it?
Beck, come here. She wants to know, do you love your Fenix 7? She loves it.
Excellent. I'm really enjoying it. Like, I've been using it a lot.
She went from a 6 to a 7.
Yeah. Oh, she went from a 6 to a 7, so she was already a convert.
Yeah. How have you found it?
That's been good. Like, I've only, obviously, since Christmas and now, so this week. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun to look at all the stats and keep an eye on my sleeping and all this, and not to have to charge it every night. And
I don't know about that morning report, because I think it sometimes gives you, I try not to look at it, but I can't help myself because I'm a big one for stats.
Yeah.
But I just think that sometimes it tells you the wrong thing. And you're like,
as long as it tells me good things, I'm happy.
Yeah, well, it's not always like that, though. It's like, well, hang on, you should be concentrating on sleep. Well, I had a great sleep, but anyway, who knows? But it's got to get used to you now, doesn't it? You need a few weeks.
That's true. Yeah, I'm probably not getting the fully in-depth stats yet. So, what do you have? What?
I've got a Garmin Enduro 2. So I had the Garmin Enduro 1, and last year it froze up on me a couple of times. So Garmin, their warranty is amazing with their lifetime warranty. So they've changed it for free. Yeah, replaced it for me, changed it for free. And I haven't had any issues with this one yet. So knock on wood, we don't have any more. Yeah, it's been pretty good. So the battery life, I think it lasts about 60 days or something. So
with the battery life with the GPS, because that was one of the I did a lot of research into a lot of different watches to try and find one that would be able to, well, ideally last the whole time. But then I knew that's pretty hard for any watch. Yeah, you only have to have one thing go wrong, or in one setting you didn't turn off or turn on with brightness or alert. Any of there's so many settings you could forget to turn one off that might be a bit of a battery drain, and then you would end up doing what I did with my Coros. Actually conked out 2Ks from the finish line when I did my 100K this year. I was so annoyed.
I heard that. It's so rough. Yeah.
So what I was happy to read was I could charge this while I was still moving. So I thought I would, and it would continue to record. So it would just be in my backpack on charge at some point when I needed a little bit of extra battery life. So I'm hoping that's kind of a standard thing that people do, or do they end up having other watches that do last forever?
No, exactly right. You can charge it on the go. I think your Fenix will also have the solar charging as well.
Yes, I do have.
So you'll get a little bit of touch up from that as well. Yeah. But a lot of the times when you get into your checkpoints or your aid stations, work it out with your crew that say, righto, especially maybe if you're 50 plus Ks in, when I get in the aid station, someone have a charger ready so I can take my watch off.
Good point.
Get a touch up of it then. You're just getting a quick charge of it. Same as when you have a sleep. Yeah, you can charge it then as well. So but obviously keep it in your backpack. But just remember, because my brother did this when we did the Ox Fair, and he something bumped in his backpack and it stopped recording. So
that would be very distressing.
Yeah, so if you're putting it in your backpack, you want to make sure it's somewhere, or put it on the outside of your pack. Just put it so it's right around your wrist, so nothing's going to touch it, and you're running the cord from inside your pack to the outside of the watch. Probably
something you can practice, isn't it? In training.
Well, you should. Yeah, absolutely. So, but there's stuff that you don't ordinarily think of because this is a multi-day event that compared to your run-of-the-mill stuff. But even with my Garmin Enduro, I noticed last time, just before I think I got pulled. It was down to like 6 or 8%. So, and I had all the notifications turned off as well. Yeah. So, it is, at some stage you will need to charge your watch. But speaking of the Fenix, what do you think about, have you used the torch?
No, mine doesn't have the torch.
Doesn't it? Are you sure?
No, the 8 does. No, and it's not an X. Like, I think it was X. Like, mine's the standard size. It doesn't have the torch.
If you press the top left button?
No, I don't have the torch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I did do that. I did think I watched the reviews and did all of that. So I know that one, because I went to Myers and taking advantage of the Boxing Day sales as well.
Yes.
So I got what they had, and it was a Fenix 7, but it was just the standard one. But with the solar and the sapphire and stuff, but didn't have the torch, which I think was only in like the bigger side, like the big one. They didn't have it anyway.
So, yeah. How do you find it? I know it's only been not even a week.
No.
But how do you find it compared to the chorus?
But the chorus I loved. I haven't used it for a while. I only ever get it out if I'm doing longer distances. I enjoy the Apple. Like I've been using Apple for a long time just because it's everything I have is Apple. So I quite like that. So it's hard to come away from an environment that you love.
Yeah.
When I got the chorus originally because of I actually did it. No, I did a 60K a few years ago. That's why I got it to be able to last that time, like 8 hours or whatever. And it was brilliant in that.
Yep.
I think the chorus, when it comes to battery life, has been one of the leaders, which is really cool because it was such a new company compared to Garmin that's been around forever.
Yeah.
Although obviously if you go high-end Garmin, you get a lot more battery life. So I do. I like the chorus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or even the high-end chorus, I think, is now well over $1,000.
Yeah, right. Wow.
They have some pretty phenomenal battery life as well. Anyway, I can pay for things with this. I don't think I can with the chorus.
Yeah, it's pretty handy.
Yes, which
especially
I can
when you're on a run.
Yeah, exactly. And you get to the coffee shop. When you're running to a coffee shop, it's always handy to have the ability to pay for your coffee. Anyway.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
All right. Enough about my Christmas gifts. Very exciting. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us about what's coming up? And I don't know how you're going to fit it all in with your holiday mode because the kids don't go back to school for another few weeks either. So I assume things are going to be a little bit different.
Correct. Yeah. So the kids go back at very end of January. I think it's like the 30th. They're around the house until then, which isn't so bad, but they're pretty good anyway. Like I'll go for a run in the morning and I'll come back or whatever. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Just obviously working in some work requirements. I spend a bit of time in Sydney coming up, so with work. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. We're starting to get into the longer stuff now. Yeah. And which isn't always so great. But the double days are coming up, and things are just starting to we're starting to turn the corner now. And I think it's just strange how it's going to happen from the 1st of Jan.
It is.
So I'm really, really not looking forward to my 60-minute run tomorrow because I know tonight's going to be a big one. And
how much do you have to do tomorrow?
60 minutes. So
only 60 minutes. Only 60 minutes. That's okay. You'll be fine.
And then I think I have to do a 60-minute hike as well. So.
Oh wow! A double. You're going to do a double up.
Yeah.
I looked ahead at mine, and from the 2nd, because I'm traveling tomorrow, so I think she was kind to me. So I don't have anything in tomorrow, but from the 2nd I start to get a lot longer. They're mostly hikes and walk runs and things like that to emulate what we'll be doing, and then with full pack and with my poles and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of that challenge.
Yep. Can't do enough hiking. Cannot do enough hiking. That's right.
So do the overland track again.
Oh yeah, awesome. Are you flying back tomorrow? Or
I'm flying back tomorrow. Isn't that crazy? But that's all right. Yeah. I'll just take it easy tonight.
Yeah. What time's your flight?
9 a.m.
Oh, that's a good excuse why you have to be good tonight. There you go.
I know, it is, and I will be.
Yeah. Is your daughter taking you, or do you get an Uber?
No, they won't be getting up.
Really? Yeah, no.
We always have...
stuff your mum. Yeah.
We always have a big family dinner, like extended family, so there'll be 15, 20 of us here in Richmond, and it starts with a bunch of cocktails and then moves into the food, and then there's wine, and then and then we walk into town and maybe watch fireworks or whatever. So it's quite a big event in our calendar. So it will be hard tomorrow morning though, when I have to get up at 6:30 or whatever. And get an Uber because everyone else will be asleep.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
That's all right. Anyway, thank you for sharing. We'll talk to you next month. Don't get off, but I'll talk to you a little bit afterwards as well. But we'll talk to you in a few weeks. Stay safe in your holiday. And well done. It sounds like things are going as they should.
That's right. Fingers crossed we can keep it on the straight and narrow.
Yes. Yay. Thank you for listening to the Fit Mind, Fit Body podcast. I'd love to talk to you about your running journey. Send me a message on Facebook or on the website and let's do it. I also wanted to let you know that I've created an email list so you won't miss any podcast episodes. You'll find details in the show notes and on the Fit Mind, Fit Body website, along with a bunch of resources on mindful running. They'll help you to get and stay mentally and physically fit. And I'll see you there. Plus, I'll be back here in your podcast player a few times a week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And before you go, I'd really appreciate it if you would leave a review. It'll help more people to find the podcast and get inspired to start running and ultimately to improve their life. See you soon.